Hello, my name is Derek, and I would like to share a little bit of what I know about growing plants. This short video is just an introduction for beginners, and it is mostly dedicated to basic knowledge for picking out a good plant to start with and a few tips to begin growing that plant. Some of this information may seem like common sense, but not everyone has had experience growing a plant, so I will try to keep everything pretty simple. There are many reasons a person may want to grow a plant. Some people like to be reminded of nature even when indoors, and a plant on a windowsill can help with that. Some people want to help cut down on greenhouse gases, and plants help with that too by using CO2 and light to make energy. The most common reason for growing plants is for viewing their beauty. Whatever the reason, if you put in a little time and effort, you can have wonderful plants just like the one pictured here. The first step in selecting your plant is difficulty. You may want to pick a plant that isn't very demanding of your time and can be forgiving in your mistakes. Once you have experience and confidence in your skills, you can move on to more difficult plants. Do a little research online or ask someone that works at a gardening store to find out which plants are easy to grow. The next step is to decide what you want your plant to look like. Some plants are grown for their beautiful flowers, like the kalanchoe pictured here. Other plants are grown for their gorgeous leaf patterns, like this coleus. Still, other plants, like this split rock plant, are grown because of their odd or novel appearance. Next, you will need to decide if you want your plant to be indoors or outside. This will matter because depending on where you live, the weather and amount of sun that an outdoor plant receives can really affect its growth and health. The begonia in this picture likes partial shade, and because I live in an area that gets a lot of heat and sunlight, I have put it in an area that is partially covered. Next, if you have any pets or children, make sure that any plant you buy is not poisonous, or if it is, that appropriate steps are taken to keep children and pets away from the plants in question. Many people just think of plants as inanimate decoration, but nothing could be further from the truth. Plants are living things that cannot tell if you are friend or foe, so they will defend themselves indiscriminately. Many plants are poisonous or have thorns or spines. As long as you know what you are buying and you are careful, there should be no problems. Here is an example of two plants that are poisonous. On the left is the common aloe vera plant. It is mildly toxic to people and pets if ingested. On the right is a crown of thorns, which has thorns and a very poisonous white sap that can cause stomach discomfort if ingested and severe irritation if left on the skin or eyes. Now you will need tools to get started. Usually you will need some potting soil if planting indoors, or just the ground if planting outside. Gloves are a good idea to help protect from spines or thorns, or even just dirt. A small shovel or spade is useful for digging. Last, if you are planting indoors, you will need a suitable pot. Make sure any pot you use is big enough to allow the plant to grow. There are many other tools, but these are just a few to start out with. Make sure when planting to do it in an area that is easy to clean up. Oftentimes, soil or water can get spilled, and even the most careful gardener leaves some dirt behind. If you have your plant in the ground, or a pot, make sure to give it some water. Plants need water to carry out nearly every function in their life cycle, so it is very important to know your plant's water needs. One of the most common mistakes new growers make is to over or underwater their plants. One of the easiest ways to tell if your plant needs water is to stick your finger into the soil about 1 to 1.5 inches deep. If the soil is dry, water. If it is damp, hold off. If you have decided to keep your plant indoors, make sure to put it in a place where it can get some light, such as a window. If you have decided to plant outdoors, remember that plants can make a very scenic area for you to enjoy. With enough time and care, you can make a wonderful outside area to relax or entertain friends. I hope that you enjoyed my video on picking out plants for beginners. There's a lot of fun and value in being able to grow plants. They provide us with food, clothing, and oxygen. They can help us to connect with nature and to remember that all life needs each other to grow and prosper. They even look nice. Good luck with all of your future plant growing endeavors, and remember, plants are fun for both family and pets, and growing plants leads to happy babies and cats.